Good Sunday morning and Happy New Year. Welcome to WGN TV Political Report. I'm Paul Lisnick. It is a new year and lawmakers are getting back to work both on Capitol Hill and in Springfield. At the Illinois State House, new lawmakers are set to be sworn in on Wednesday, and they've already got their work cut out for them. Last November, the governor's budget office projected a potential budget deficit of $3.2 billion for the upcoming fiscal year, and that starts on July 1st. Well, officials say those numbers are subject to change in the coming weeks and months, but it's an early warning sign that budget negotiations will be tough. Plus, public transit agencies, they're facing their own $730 million fiscal cliff and turning to state lawmakers for help. Well, before any of that can happen, the outgoing legislature is meeting for a quick lame duck session starting this weekend. And Illinois Senate Minority Leader John Curran, a Republican state senator from Downers Grove, he joins me this morning to talk more about the road ahead. Senator, good to see you and Happy New Year.
Happy New Year, Paul. Good morning. Good to be with you.
So in these last couple of, next couple of days of this lame duck session, how important are they to what we're going to see accomplished by the legislature and to support and help Illinois taxpayers?
Well, Paul, if we're going to address what's on Illinoisans' minds and what they need most, that's the rising cost of living. If we actually take that issue on in these last several days of session, we're going to do some good things for Illinoisans. But right now, what I'm hearing is that's not going to be the case. Instead, we may see some, small items as the governor tries to position himself on the national stage as the most partisan governor in the nation, and a lot of this Trump proofing, so to speak, of Illinois, which is nothing more than a sideshow instead of really tackling the issues on Illinois voters' minds.
And some from the Democratic side may say, look, this is a cleanup period of time, but let's look to the next week, because this coming week on Wednesday, we get the new legislature sworn in. And I'm curious, the numbers pretty much stay the same. That is, Democrats have their, super majorities. Does anything change in a new, fresh term that begins?
Well, new members, all four caucuses have new members arriving. You start over. Every bill that is currently existing under consideration dies, and legislators start the process of filing new legislation, new proposals. Our filing deadline in the Senate is February 7th, and you start that beginning committee work again. So that's why these last few days can be an incredibly important time period if we actually push through some important issues critical to Illinoisans. Otherwise, it's going to be a pause and a reset, and it's going to take time before that process starts and really tees up any solutions for Illinoisans.
So as we look ahead to future budget issues that you're going to be facing, as you know, as I said, the governor's Office of Management and Budget, they see a $3.2 billion shortfall coming. We see that income is expected to remain flat, increase in spending as at that $3.2 billion level. Sort of curious, where do you see the cuts? Because, as you know, 40% of the budget is mandated by court or law, and another 24% is going to education, higher education. It really doesn't leave much slack. Where do you go?
Well, Paul, first and foremost, we need transparent accounting on what is being spent. We have been calling for over a year. The governor's non-citizen programs, we're spending over at least $1 billion, but we really don't have a full price tag on it on these programs that really Illinois taxpayers can't afford to continue to fund. They couldn't afford it to start with. And so we've been calling for a transparent accounting of that spending. The governor has resisted that. That's really the start of the roadmap. We need to look at where we are actually spending money, because we have to focus on Illinois taxpayers. They're taxed out.
So, Mr. Leader, one of the things you have said when you're talking about the governor and his Democratic colleagues in the majority, your words have been, in kind of colorful words, they have a gluttonous appetite for more spending. And you've asked for a pledge to have no increase on families or businesses. How hopeful are you that that's going to happen?
Well, we're going to know here in early February when the governor puts forward his budget proposal, and we will get an idea of where the governor would like to take this budget. And if that includes tax increases in that initial proposal, watch out, Illinois taxpayers, because then it's coming. So that's really going to be kind of the key point here. My hope is that the governor leads with an austere budget proposal that does not include tax increases. Let's at least start there and then have the conversations about unmet needs.
And I think it's fair to say that Republicans certainly want to have a stronger voice than they've had at the bargaining table. So I'm sort of curious, on behalf of Senate Republicans, which you lead, do you have some specific suggestions you can share with our viewers this morning on how you all would shore up the budget and the way in which Illinois is spending its money? What specifically do you suggest?
You know, Paul, we've been talking for the last several years that we have to look long term, and as we saw this essentially cliff coming, where the federal dollars were going to drive up from COVID relief, we were not putting enough away, and we were instead creating new programs. That is problematic, because what we do need is to create a growing environment here in Illinois. We have an out-migration of businesses and individuals from Illinois. And I think you saw last week, we saw a report that really our population growth is due to the attraction of newly arriving non-citizens that require a tremendous amount of spending and social and financial support from taxpayers. We've got to reverse that trend and actually grow so we have a larger pie. So we're looking at really, I think, the estate tax is something that we've got to take on. It is really one of the biggest drivers of out-migration, of business owners, people later in life, taking their wealth to other states that don't have a estate tax. And we are really losing out. So policies like that are what my caucus is going to be pursuing.
So, Senator, just a minute left. So a couple of quick things. Curious question. With the Trump administration coming in and threats to take away federal funding of this state, does that give Republicans a stronger voice when it comes to having friends in the current administration? Have you been in touch with the Trump administration at all yet?
We would like to be involved in that regard, because, I really think it was a misstep on day one when Governor Pritzker decided to just start picking a fight and making it personal with the incoming administration, rather than thinking about what's best for Illinoisans, the people I currently represent, put aside the national profile that he wants to carve out as a, really a national partisan voice, and lead Illinoisans. So I think bringing Republicans into that discourse can only do good things for Illinois taxpayers.
Senator, it's going to be an interesting term coming up. We're going to watch it closely. Please come back and talk to us and update us from time to time, if you would, as things develop. We appreciate that.
I'd love to do that. Thank you, Paul.
All right. That's Minority Leader John Curran. Thank you, sir. Appreciate it. We're going to take our first break. Coming up next on WGN-TV Political Report, the life and legacy of former President Jimmy Carter. We talk to Carter biographer Jonathan Alter as the 39th president is laid to rest this week.